Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wayne Gaming, and subbing to me on Twitter, The Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Adastra. So yeah, my partner is trying to sleep behind me, so I'm going to be keeping it down a little bit in this video. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Okay. Even though Amicus is grinning teasingly, I can tell that he's blushing even under the moonlight. You didn't think asking me something like that would make me suspicious? Well, I don't know. It's an interesting topic that has never been brought up. Two males cannot be married anyway, let alone ones from different species. I feel myself calm down a little. Not sure how I would have reacted if Amicus had just whipped out a ring then and there. Amicus is still looking at me, expecting an answer. I swallow, then think. I guess you just propose to the person you want to marry, then you go to the courthouse and sign some papers and it's official, I think. I don't know, I've never been married. And in some places, males can marry other males, right? I narrow my eyes. How would you know that? Again, I've spent some time with your Nexus. It's only fair I do, considering you've been spending so much of your own time learning about Adastra. I'm starting to see why Amicus might have been so busy these past few months. Starting up his own restaurant and learning about human culture. Well, you're right, there are a lot of places on Earth where you can marry the same sex. Amicus looks off into the lake. That does sound rather nice. What about Italy? I glanced at Amicus, noticing the interest he's been taking in the country he abducted me from. I suppose it's a place for him to look to for inspiration, vision of what Adastra could be, which makes sense. It's the location of the uplift, of course, but it also has a turbulent history, and politics that have always been raucous and unpredictable. Considering where the country started and where it is now, Amicus wouldn't be wrong to find inspiration there. Again, Amicus is waiting for his answer. I have to think back to what little I researched about the topic. Sort of? I think civil unions are a thing, which is pretty close to marriage, but not really. I think if you marry someone from an EU country, you can... I realize that Amicus might have no idea what I'm talking about, even though he seems to be listening intently. Anyway, yeah, sort of. Civil unions. Mostly marriage, but not really marriage. I think it'll happen there soon, though. Sounds complicated. Yeah, it gets really complicated. Amicus is still looking out at the lake. You want to swim? I blink. No, the water will be freezing. So? So, I don't think I want to die of hypothermia? Amicus guffaws. You really are a pup. It's not that cold. I roll my eyes, feeling a little whiplash from the sudden change in conversation. Then a yelp in surprise as I feel myself get swooped up from the ground, easily held up in Amicus's strong paws. Hey! I'll show you. What? I struggle in the wolf's grasp, very much not in the mood to be dunked in freezing cold water. Amicus's strength can't be matched by me, though, and the waves get louder as the wolf walks closer to the water's edge. Amicus, my robe! Realizing that a dip in the lake is inevitable, I start to try and struggle out of my garments. But at that moment, I'm suddenly set back down on my feet. Dazed, I stumble. We're right at the water's edge, where the waves are crawling up the sand just a few inches from my feet. The lake stretches out to my right, dark and expansive, the blackness broken by the shimmers of silver light reflecting off the rippling water. It takes me a while to finally focus on Amicus. It's because he's kneeling on the beach, reaching up toward me with both paws, and I see what is definitely a ring held between the pads of his fingers. I stare. Amicus clears his throat, his bravado from just a minute ago having quickly faded, replaced by a look he'd once worn when he offered me a bouquet of flowers in the gardens. Will you be my husband? I continue to stare. Amicus stares back, clearly trying to keep a confident look on his face, but after a few more seconds it fails. I know what I'm doing this time. I was sure to research it. I know what this means. He stubbornly holds up the ring. Now I get a good look at it, and I'm not sure if it's just reflecting the sky, but the ring appears to be a dark, dark blue, with tiny speckles of sparkling stones dotting the rim, just like the stars above. A thin stripe of silver wraps all the way across the band, straight down the middle. But you said males couldn't marry each other. I mumble that out stupidly, not sure why it's the first thing that comes to mind. Amicus ducks his head slightly. No, but I am Emperor, and I know that might sound bad after what happened earlier, but I want this, so I will have it. It's like, water time. Oh, yeah. Some good shit right there, boy. Amicus looks back up at me with a determined expression. That is, if you will have it as well. I'm frozen, and that determined expression melts away once again as Amicus looks like he's about to panic. 8 years, Kyllian. That is too long. We need something to bind us together. To always remember, to have something when we reunite. A few more moments of silence. I see Amicus's paws faltering, starting to pull back. That's what finally gets my stupid brain to force me to move, reaching down to gently touch the ring. Yes, of course! Amicus's ears perk up. Yes? I will marry you, of course! I laughed at the last words, not even sure what I'm doing right now. Yes! Amicus hops to his feet, fist in the air, as if he's just won a kind of sports competition. Before I can say anything else, he's crushing the air from my lungs with the force of the hug he pulls me into, pressing his muzzle against my lips. Then when he pulls back, he adds another kiss, this one a canine-style lick up the side of my face. Ah! I flinched back, surprised by the gesture. It's a juvenile show of affection, something a pup would do, something Amicus has never done to me before. He looks happier than I've seen him in months. Kyllian, I'm gonna be the best husband there ever was. I love you. He pulls me against his body, more gently this time, looking into my eyes. Though I know that marriages on Adastra are more pragmatic, it seems that Amicus has, for the most part, educated himself in the more emotional, romantic meaning it holds on Earth. The wolf takes my hand in his much bigger paw, drawing it up between us so that he can slide the ring on. Amicus chuckles as it's clear that it's much, much too big, at least twice the width of my finger. I'll have to have it fitted, of course. Simply wanted it to be a complete surprise. It worked. I was worried when you didn't assume the usual position I examined in the images Com showed me of a human proposal. Position? The male is on one knee and the female does this. Amicus assumes a look of surprise, both paws up to his muzzle. I'm laughing as I hold up the ring to the moonlight, examining the tiny speckles of sparkling stone embedded in the dark blue metal. I also thought if a stretch ring would be most appropriate. Stretch ring? Amicus reaches out, taking the ring from my fingers to hold it up between us. It symbolizes space and the stars, of course, but this... Amicus points a blunt claw at the thin strip of silver running around the middle of the band. This symbolizes connection between those who are long distances apart. Yeah? Yes. Some believe that the shape of our universe is spherical, and that it sort of folds in upon itself. Amicus sees my furrowed brows. Think of it like this. If I walk in that direction, Amicus points out across the lake, in a straight line for many months, eventually I will end up right back here next to you. So there is a belief that the universe could hold a similar shape, a sphere that is expanding, and this ring. Amicus spins the ring around, showing me the silver circle. Reminds us that, even if we are moving apart on the stretch drive, we are still moving toward each other in a straight line, which is the fastest way to get somewhere. A touch convoluted, I know, and a somewhat unlikely theory, but it can be a comforting thought. I like to think of it more as being connected by fate. Yes, we will be far apart, but there is an invisible thread connecting us that cannot be broken and will soon draw us back together. I cut the wolf off as I hug him, pressing my face into his chest, the bittersweet sadness I'd been feeling for many months coming to the surface all at once. Amicus holds me quietly as we stand there on the beach in silence. I'm happy and sad all at once. I just want to stay here forever. We make our way back to our room, the sky beginning to lighten with the approaching dawn. Along the way, Amicus starts to get handsy, and by the time we're at the door, the wolf practically pushes me inside, attacking my neck with licks. I cringe and laugh at the ticklishness of it, trying to escape until Amicus has me pinned to the wall next to the door. Going somewhere? The wolf starts to take off my robe, and at the same time I start to remove his garments. Yes, and you're coming with me. Oh, well, lead the way then. I grab his semi-hard length, which causes it to immediately twitch to full mast. Amicus seems to grow frustrated with undoing my underwear, and resorts to just yanking it down from my body, leaving me naked as well. The wolf sweeps me off my feet and takes me to the bed, all the while we both kiss each other. It's much more passionate, almost animalistic compared to our kiss on the beach. Amicus growling into it while my tongue pushes past his lips, feeling his big, long teeth and wide, flat tongue. He lays me on the bed and we kiss for a while longer. Amicus's paws move up and down my sides while I feel up his back, his cock laying heavily on top of mine, twitching each time I make a moaning sound. Finally, the wolf pulls back, his tongue hanging out for a moment before he clears his throat, suddenly looking nervous. You alright? Oh, that is a penis. 1 second now. It is water time. Yes, but there's something else I wanted to do for Lover's Day. Yeah? I look around, wondering what else could be done aside from what we're doing right now. I would like to attempt some type of, what would you call it, penetration? My heart skips a beat. We've been intimate many times the past few months, and Amicus had inquired a few times about entering me, and had always been hesitant because of our size difference. Eventually, the wolf had just stopped asking. I know that you are wary of my size, but if you'd like to try, I've made sure to get a proper lubrication, the best quality on the moon. Amicus walks over to the dresser and opens a drawer before pulling out a jar. He has it open by the time he returns. But I decided it would only be fair if I offered a choice instead. Choice? Yes, I want to be even closer with you, Kyllian, but if it's not possible for you to take me in, then I'll take you. My eyebrows shoot up and Amicus rolls his eyes. Well, don't look so surprised. Aren't you the one that told me that emperors shouldn't have anything near their butts or something? And they shouldn't. Amicus blushes furiously. But if you're to be my future husband, and we keep it from the public, of course, I would still like to try to enter you, as I feel it suits me better, but I'm going to leave you the choice up to you, for Lover's Day. So which position would you like to take? I'll be the bottom. Yeah. That kind of makes sense for the story, I guess. Yeah. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. I look between the wolf's legs, and though I'm nervous, I know that Amicus will do his best to keep me comfortable. Yeah. Yeah. Amicus follows my eyes and looks down at his crotch, then back up at me, frowning. Yes, so I suppose you'll like to... bottom. Eh? I'll try being on bottom. Just be careful. Just be careful. Oh, well, of course. I plan to take it very slowly. I see the wolf's dick twitch as he quickly hardens up into half-mast as the thought of penetrating me, making me feel a little nervous. The wolf is focused on dipping his fingers into the jar while approaching me. My heart starts to hammer in my chest as I move toward the bed, as I move to stand by the bed, watching as Amicus grabs up his length to slather the lubricant over his ebony cock. It hardens further in response to that, and it's finally when he turns to me, his ever-growing length swinging gently between his legs. I swallow hard, moving to sit on the bed, trying not to look nervous. Of course, Amicus picks up on that right away, and he gently sets a paw on my shoulder. Hey, we don't need to do this at all. I simply thought you might like to try it after all this time. Amicus looks down between his legs. Would you rather do what we usually do? I hear the flavor of the lubricant is rather pleasant. Amicus starts to raise his lubricated fingers to his mouth, about to lick before I grab his wrist gently. No, I'm just not sure what to expect. I want to do this. Get used to it so we can do it more often. Amicus smiles at me, and hugs me tightly, pressing our naked bodies against each other. I shiver slightly at the way his fur tickles my skin, the way I can feel his muscles and bulk through the flattened fur, the way he rests his square jaw on the top of my head. The combination of power and soft gets to me like it always does, and my own cock twitches to life. Well, expect me to be very gentle. If anything becomes too much for you, simply say so, we will stop, and continue something more familiar instead. Well, it's Lover's Day, so I want to make it special. Tonight is already special, Kyllian. Don't worry about that. I want to be with you right now. Second, y'all. Water time. Okay. Amicus tilts my chin up and kisses me, a paw sliding down to cup my rear. He gives it a gentle squeeze before wrapping a paw around my legs and leaning me back so that he can lay me on the bed without breaking the kiss. I hold on to him, sliding my hands around his broad back before more timidly sliding them down, then grabbing and squeezing his ass. Normally this would make him yelp or scramble away indignantly, but this time he just gasps against my mouth in surprise, then laughs while dragging his muzzle down my torso. He licks and kisses my chest, teasing my nipples with his tongue and ever gently nipping with his teeth before licking his way down my stomach. By the time he's reached my groin, I'm hard and leaking, and judging by the grin on his face, that's just what he wanted. And looking down between us, I can see that I'm definitely not the only one, Amicus being as hard as I've ever seen him, leaking pre onto my lower stomach as he grins up at me. Oh my, that is Venus. Seems that you've become aroused, young ape. Is there something that you find tantalizing about a wolf like me? It's hard to answer as I'm a bit distracted by the way our dicks just press up against each other, Amicus's hot flesh gliding smoothly against mine each time he moves. I think it's the other way around, young pup. Amicus grins as he just smears the pre across my stomach, the gesture having a rather territorial feel. It's a wolf thing, but it gets me even more excited. When Amicus finally gets more lube, he gently spreads me, then begins to coat my hole with the slick substance. It's a little cold, but it warms up to my body temperature very quickly, and I gasp as Amicus completely coats me. I am going to reach inside a bit to help loosen you up, if that is all right. I swallow but nod quickly, the intimacy of having my lover touch me in such a private place making my Johnson jump on my stomach. It does it again as Amicus pushes in a little bit, and I lean my head back, just experiencing the feel of his pads gently circling my entrance. It's a little embarrassing, but I'm getting really... yeah. When Amicus leans forward to lick my... yeah. I gasp and push him away with a hand on his forehead. Whoa, 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 I'm close. Amicus grins at me. Already? You're not taking it very easy. My voice is a little higher pitched. Breathless, I try to keep my muscles loose. Well, I think we should move forward if that's the case. Very slowly. Amicus waits, and when I keep my legs open, his hips tilted up to receive him. Amicus does move forward. Oh my. The process is slow, and I tell him to stop sooner than I'd wanted to, but when he pauses, I get used to the feeling pretty quickly, and he moves forward again. We take a break 3 more times, allowing me to get used to the feeling before he's finally in most of the way. Well, I'd gotten soft over the course of the penetration, and I quickly get hard again when the tip of the, billiard stick suddenly hits that particular spot, and I arch with a soft gasp. Amicus seems to like that, because he responds with a growl, leaning again to kiss my neck. The movement sends him deeper, forcing more involuntary sounds out of me, while at the same time the action pushes the pull cue closer and closer to the arranged set of balls. The feeling of exposing myself like this, allowing Amicus access, it's making me leak like never before. When Amicus has finished licking me, he pulls back to begin. Yeah. Slowly at first, but then building up speed when I don't complain. And I gasp and groan at the feeling of something so thick, so deep, yeah. He seems to be lost in his own world, seemingly completely focused on what he's doing and what he's feeling. I feel like he doesn't know what he's doing, even though I know he's at least had some experience. It's rough and kind of sloppy, but it's my wolf doing it, and that's enough to get me, close. I see a brief look of surprise on Amicus's face before he picks up the speed, I can tell Amicus wants to yep at the same time, and somehow he makes it, tensing up just as I do. I grip my teeth, watching his face as he stares at the ceiling, his mouth hanging open, even drooling a little as he teeters on the edge. Without warning, I pull him in tightly, wrapping my legs around his waist and forcing him, okay. This forces a choked groan out of Amicus, his eyes widening even more before he slumps forward again. Blam! His paws slap the bed covers as he leans forward, tensing, then shuddering as he unloads himself inside me. There's thrusts in me over the edge too, and I groan, grabbing at Amicus's arms, anchoring myself against the pleasure as oh my goodness. Oh, you can't read that. Transition to growls as he leans further forward, his tongue hanging out, wincing one eye shut as I feel, that thing spasming, and he collapses on top of me. Okay. He cushions his fall with his elbows on either side of me, leaning in his head until it comes to rest on his chest. We both lay there gasping, not caring about the mess, just quietly enjoying each other while I feel him slowly get smaller. Happy Lover's Day, Kyllian. Happy Lover's Day. I promise I won't ruin the next one, even if that might be 8 years away. Well, that's a lot of time to prepare then. Amicus laughs and then leans in to kiss me again. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Oh, I got a lot of editing to do for this video, and it goes up tomorrow. Good lord, good lord. Well, I say tomorrow. It goes up the day y'all be watching this. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks for a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.